news for like the last couple of days now. We've got really excited to see that LeBron is coming to Philadelphia, and the 76ers actually made the announcement real and just available to the public today. So yes, LeBron had announced that he was signing with the team, but now the team is fully embracing it, actually putting up a picture of his new jersey. So as you can see, he's going to be number 23. We'll get into everything that you need to know about LeBron coming to the city of brotherly love in just a little bit. But some other big things that are happening today, as you can see, you're looking at what appears to be a court shot. That is because we are in the courtroom live for a big situation that's taking place right now. Information that we have on it is fairly limited, but maybe you've heard the name. So we're talking about Lindsay Clancy here. She's a mother who's accused of murdering her 3 children, and they say she did it in a pretty brutal way. I believe they say she used some gym equipment, stretchy bands, in order to suffocate them. Now, I want to be clear here, the prosecutors who are going through their opening statements and diving deep into trial as we speak, they're not trying to argue whether or not she actually killed her children. She pleaded guilty to that, so that's already done. Right now, they're trying to determine whether she did it with malintent in her heart. Did she plan this out? Was a methodical murder? Or was she suffering from some sort of postpartum depression that ended up in being psychosis? So it's a really big situation that we're trying to figure out the information about as this continues. But again, that is happening today. They've had their opening statement. It's going to look like they've already brought someone up to the stand. So we'll be able to listen in and let you know what's going on there as well. But a couple more things. Okay, before we get away, let's go ahead and take you into the courtroom live right now.
During the times when she would get anxious, when it was time to go back to work and she would start being anxious, did you ever have any difficulty understanding her when she spoke?
No.
And did she ever exhibit any behavior that made you concerned enough to call a doctor or want to commit her?
No.
When she was showing this anxiety, what were you seeing in her behavior?
Just a lot of stress. There were days where she had all 3 kids, and there's different nap schedules and different needs. So it was just really stressful.
Okay. And you're still working in the basement office at this point after Callan's born, correct?
I went back to work late August.
Okay. And when you work downstairs, how often would you come upstairs during the day?
All the time, for lunch or just to say hi.
Were there times when Lindsay would ask you to hold the baby in the office while she was doing something?
So, yeah.
Okay. And were there times when you would watch one or more of the children while she took another to a doctor's appointment or to an errand or something like that?
Yeah, if it worked out with the schedule, yeah.
Okay. What was the plan in terms of how many shifts or hours she was going to work after Callan?
I believe the plan was 2 shifts per week, but there was a lot of flexibility. She could have done really anything.
Do you recall saying previously that you were going to start off with 1 shift and hopefully move to 2?
I could imagine, yeah.
Okay. And you said there were some options, correct? What were those options if that didn't work out?
Well, I always put money aside in basically our own maternity account, just so that if she needed more flexibility, we planned for that. So
if she needed more time off, more than what her work would provide for her, you were financially secure enough to afford that at that time? During this time, in the fall of 2022, were Cora and Dawson attending preschool?
Yes.
And where was that?
Learning Sprouts.
And where is Learning Sprouts located?
Duxbury.
How often were they attending Learning Sprouts?
Full days Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and a half day on Thursday.
And what was a full day? What hours?
I think it was 9 to 4.
9 a.m. to 4 p.m.?
I think so, yeah.
And what was a half day?
Like 9 to 12:30. I think they might have had some days where they started early. I can't remember.
Okay. But basically all day, working hours all day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then the mornings on Thursday. Is that right?
Right.
And who would do drop-offs for school?
We both would.
And what about pickups?
Both of us.
Together or take turns?
Usually we would take turns.
Now, at some point in time after Callan was born, did you hire a nanny?
Yes.
And when was that?
I think it was in August or September.
Of 2022?
Yeah.
And who was that nanny?
Lainey. I don't remember her last name.
Does Elaine Rossi sound familiar?
Yeah.
And do you recall how many days per week Elaine was going to work when you hired her?
I think it was 12 hours.
But it wouldn't be 12 hours altogether. It would be spread out over the week. Is that right?
Correct.
And who was she hired to take care of?
Everyone. But mainly it was going to be Callan.
Because Cora and Dawson would be at school?
For the most part, yeah.
And what was the plan for when Elaine would work? Was it that same type of after Lindsay worked shifts or something different?
Yeah, the goal was after Lindsay would work. I mean, she never went back to work, but I think we wanted to get her just like oriented with our house and the kids. So we had her start before, and then she was amazing. She was an amazing caregiver, but eventually we decided to let her go because Lindsay was home anyways.
Okay. So when you initially hired her in August or September, you said Lindsay was going back to work in October. So is that what you're talking about, that give her that month or so, give Elaine that month or so to get situated and acclimated to the house?
Yeah.
Okay. Have the kids get used to her. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Elaine, did she also do some cleaning, laundry, and food prep?
Yeah. Yeah, she was amazing.
Now, during this time frame, and again in the end of summer, fall period of 2022, what types of activities were Cora and Dawson doing?
Gymnastics. Are you talking about organized activities or just in general?
Organized.
I only remember gymnastics.
Did they both do the gymnastics?
Yeah.
And then were they also participating, maybe not in organized situations, but in swimming, soccer, skiing, things like that?
Yeah, they were doing swimming, and yeah, Cora and Dawson did skiing. Yeah, Cora started doing soccer. She didn't really like it, but did a little bit.
And who took them skiing?
I did.
And in terms of the swimming, where would you do that?
We did it at Goldfish in Rockland, I think. And then Lindsay took them somewhere in, I think, Plymouth. I don't remember where it was.
So you would each take them swimming at various times?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you also do some swimming at the Kingsbury Club?
Yes.
And what is the Kingsbury Club?
It's like a gym with a pool. And they had childcare, so sometimes they would hang out in the kids' room and we would go work out.
And is that in Duxbury?
It's on the Kingston-Duxbury line. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah.
Okay. And so you could drop the kids off at the daycare portion and go work out or swim or something like that?
Yeah, or we could go with them and go swimming.
Okay. Did Lindsay work out?
Yes.
She was very health conscious?
I think so.
And were you aware that she had been an athlete in both high school and college?
Yes.
Do you recall what she did?
Competitive.
You guys, don't worry. We're going to get right back into his testimony, but I see we have quite a few questions coming to our live stream chat. I want to answer them just so we're all clear at what we're watching and listening to here. So this is the ex-husband of Lindsay Clancy. His name is, excuse me, I just had it up for you guys. Sorry about that. Patrick Clancy is the gentleman who's on the stand right now. He's expected to testify in Lindsay's defense, kind of suggesting that it was a mental health issue. So again, what we're talking about here, this is the triple murder trial of Lindsay Clancy. She's accused of murdering their 3 children. Someone asked how old those children were. I've got those numbers for you guys. They're very young, 5 years old, 3 years old, and they had an 8-month-old. So after the situation took place, officials say that the mother, Lindsay, then went on to try to take her own life. She was not successful, and now she is in court facing those charges. And again, they're not trying to determine whether or not she actually murdered the children. She pleaded guilty to that part of this case. What they're trying to determine is whether she was suffering from some sort of postpartum psychosis, which was a mental health issue, or whether she had planned this out, whether it was methodical. And it seems her husband is on the stands trying to suggest that it was a mental health issue. You guys, I'm getting some more information as well. He has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against some of his wife's healthcare practitioners. So again, it just goes to show what he is testifying now on stand. Now let's get right back into it.
Separated from your newborn, stuff like that.
So she didn't want to go back to work? Is that what you're saying?
I think she did. It was just a really difficult transition for her.
And do you recall attending a wedding on September 17th, 2022?
Yeah,
And where was that wedding?
New Hampshire.
Was it just you and Lindsay that went, or did the whole family go?
We brought Kellen.
And when you were at that wedding, do you recall having a conversation with Lindsay about medication?
Yes.
What did she say to you?
We were walking downtown, and she said, I think I'm going to start taking Zoloft.
And did she tell you why she wanted to start taking Zoloft?
She said, I think it's really going to help with my anxiety and with going back to work.
And did she tell you how she was going to go about getting Zoloft?
Yeah, I asked her, how are you going to get Zoloft? It's a prescription. And she said, usually just ask the doctor and they'll give it to you.
And did she tell you that she was going to see a psychiatrist?
Yeah, I believe so.
And when she did that, did she tell you who she was going to see?
No.
Did you eventually learn the name of the person who she went to see?
Months later, yeah.
Okay. And who was that?
Jennifer Tufts.
Okay. And did Lindsay tell you when she started seeing Dr. Jennifer Tufts?
No.
Did you learn, or strike that, did Lindsay tell you when she received the medication and when she started it?
No. I should correct that. It's not exactly.
Well, let me just ask a question first.
Sure.
Did you have a conversation with Lindsay about the medication she was on?
Eventually, yeah, but I didn't know the start date.
Okay. And so when did this conversation take place, this eventual conversation?
Probably the end of October.
Okay. And at that point, what did Lindsay tell you about the medication and how she was taking it?
I don't remember exactly, but I learned that she was taking the Zoloft, and I don't remember really too much about it after that. She was just taking it, and we were seeing how it went.
And did you notice any changes in her physically during that time frame that she was on it and you weren't aware she was on it?
At the time, no, I don't think I did.
And did you notice any changes in her emotionally during that time when she was on it, but you weren't aware she was on it?
Yeah, she wasn't really improving. She just kind of seemed to be gradually becoming more in like a depressed state.
And how was that manifesting? What were you noticing?
It was just small things. I was planning a trip with Cora to San Francisco, and she was nervous about us going. And I remember we went to a Halloween event, and just leading up to it, I remember it just kind of seemed like she didn't want to go for some reason.
Okay. Now, do you recall learning that she had actually obtained the prescription the day before she told you she was going to ask for the prescription?
I did later learn that, yeah.
Okay. So she's telling you at the wedding that she is going to ask to take this medication and going to see a psychiatrist to get on that medication, but she actually already had the prescription. Is that correct?
Correct. I don't think she started taking it yet, but she already had it.
Okay. And did Lindsay tell you how long she took the medication for?
She may have. I don't remember the exact time frame. I just remember she took it for a period of time, and then her sleep started to suffer, so she stopped taking it.
And did she tell you whether or not she spoke to her provider, her doctor, about the troubles she was having?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. And did Lindsay tell you that she was advised to double the dose of the Zoloft?
She may have. I don't remember.
Page 31. You could look at lines 20 to 22, and then just look up when you're
Sure.
finished.
Okay, yeah, apparently she did.
Did that refresh your memory?
Yeah.
And so did Lindsay tell you that she was supposed to double the dose?
I guess she did, yeah.
Did you notice any changes in her sleep during that time when she was on the medication, but you weren't aware she was on it?
Eventually, yeah.
When was that?
I don't remember the exact dates, but she just, one night she said, do you mind, she started it by saying, I'm not mad or anything, but do you mind sleeping in the basement? And letting me just sleep in our room with Callan, and then you can take the monitors down in the basement, and if Cora and Dawson get up, you can get up with them. She said, I've just been having a lot of trouble sleeping, and I'm hoping that, like, if there's less in and out, then there'll be less disruption.
Okay. Had you noticed prior to her telling you this that she was up a lot or having trouble sleeping, like physically seeing her awake?
No, not that I recall.
And did you in fact start sleeping in the basement for a period of time?
I think I did it for like 2 nights, and then she actually went down in the basement.
Okay, so then you went back up to your bedroom to sleep, is that correct?
Yeah.
And how long did Lindsay sleep in the basement for after that?
Maybe a couple weeks.
And so during that time frame, was she telling you that she was still having trouble sleeping?
Yes.
But you weren't actually down there watching her sleep. You're getting this information from her, correct?
Correct.
Were you aware that out of the Zoloft prescription she was given, she only took 7 pills?
No.
After you had the conversation with Lindsay where she said she was going to double the dose of Zoloft, did you notice any difference in her demeanor or behavior?
I would say yes. I don't know if I connected it with the doubling of her Zoloft, but over that period of time, she just kept getting worse and worse.
And what period of time was that? What month are we in?
Mid-October to the end of December.
Okay. So she got the prescription in September, started taking it in October, took 7 pills, but was having difficulty in December. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
From this medication?
Yep. Well, I don't know which medication it was from, but yeah.
Okay. At some point in time, did Lindsay, switch providers?
Yes.
And why did she do that?
Because whatever she was doing with Jennifer Tufts, it wasn't working. She was only getting worse. And she thought that it would be better if she worked with, I guess, more of like a perinatal psychiatrist.
And did she get a referral or a recommendation of where to go?
I think so, yeah.
Do you know who gave her that recommendation?
It might have been my mother.
And your mother's a nurse at South Shore Hospital, correct?
Yeah.
Does she also do labor and delivery work?
Yes.
Okay. And so do you know which provider or which office she recommended?
Yeah, her name is Julie Paul.
And was she at the South Shore Perinatal Clinic?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. And do you know when that was?
I don't know the dates on that.
Do you recall saying previously that it was towards the end of November?
Yeah, that sounds accurate, yeah.
Okay. And you said she initially saw someone named Julie Paul, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And do you know how long she saw Julie Paul at that facility?
I think it was only 4 or 5 days.
And were you aware that Julie Paul left that office?
Yes.
And do you know who Lindsay saw after Julie Paul?
Rebecca Gelata.
And was Rebecca Gelata a nurse practitioner?
Yes.
Were you aware that she also saw a licensed social worker therapist named Letitia Dukes while she was at the South Shore Perinatal Clinic?
I don't recall Letitia Dukes, but it's possible.
So Lindsay never told you that she had therapy sessions with a person named Letitia Dukes during that time frame?
I don't remember any therapy sessions now.
Okay. After switching to Julie Paul and then Rebecca Gelata, did Lindsay start coming home with different prescription bottles?
Yes.
Okay. And were some of these medications that she came home with, were some of them during the time she was with Dr. Tufts?
I think some of them were, yeah.
And some of them were while she was with Julie Paul, is that correct?
Correct.
And then some while she was with nurse practitioner Gelata, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And would it be accurate to state that you provided the district attorney's office with a printout from CVS Pharmacy of all the prescriptions that were filled for Lindsay from September through January, September 2022 through January of 2023?
Yes.
Any objection?
No, of course not.
I'd ask for it to be admitted as
Sure,
one.
yeah. In members of the jury, one of the things I forgot to tell you is anything that's entered as an exhibit, you'll have with you in the deliberating room when you're deliberating. So you'll have a chance to go over that as well. So you'll have anything that's marked as an exhibit. Okay? Thank you.
Now, while she was taking these medications, the various pills, were you always with her, watching and monitoring exactly what she took?
Not always, no.
Sometimes you'd see it, sometimes you wouldn't?
Yeah.
Directing your attention to February 6th, 2023, did you go to the district attorney's office and, or have your attorney go there and provide a bag of prescription medication that had belonged to Lindsay?
Yeah. I think the police took a bag of prescription medications that night, the night my kids passed away. Mm-hmm. And then there was a bag that I had in my truck that I was supposed to, nurse practitioner Gelata said you can bring them to like a police station. They get rid of them for you. But I never got around to it.
And where had you stored those in your truck?
In the center console, it's like underneath the center console that opens.
You have one of those center consoles that open up, but then there's another larger
Correct.
compartment below it?
Yeah.
So was it your plan to bring these to a location where they could be properly disposed?
Yeah, I didn't want to just throw them in the trash, so.
And these were all medications that had been prescribed in the past to Lindsay, but she was no longer taking, correct?
Right.
Your Honor, I don't think I have any objection to any of their exhibits, so
Okay.
she doesn't have to keep showing it to me. That's
All right.
fine.
So I'll assume if you do have an objection, just
Sure.
rise, let me know. Okay, thank you.
So for the record, a bag here with 9 pill bottles as Exhibit 2, please.
Thank you.
And so looking in Exhibit 2, we have the Zoloft that was prescribed by Dr. Tufts and filled on September 15th, 2022. And I think I asked you earlier, you weren't aware that only 7 pills were taken out of this, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then there's another prescription in here for Ativan that was filled on October 26, 2022. Were you aware that only 6 pills were taken out of that bottle?
Can you say the date again?
October 26, 2022.
And how many did it start with?
Let's see. Hmm. 30 pills.
Okay. I mean, I don't have those exact numbers on how many she took, but there were adjustments made on the dosage of the Ativan. So that aligns with
But the question was, were you aware that only 6 pills were taken out of this prescription?
No, but I think the context is important.
Okay.
All right, you guys, we are going to interrupt right here, but let us know if you are interested in the trial. We can get back to it. This is a live interactive news show, which means you actually get to let me know what you're interested in hearing and seeing more about. So we'll get back to that. But just in case anybody's just now joining us, I just want to remind you all that we were listening into Patrick Clancy. He is the ex-husband of Lindsay Clancy, who she is accused of murdering their 3 children. We're talking about a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and an 8-month-old. There are a lot of details that go into this, but the big thing that they're arguing here is whether or not she murdered her children because of she was experiencing some postpartum psychosis, or whether or not she did this with intention, that she wanted to do this. And he has been on the stand there talking about her mental illness struggles. He's also been talking about the different medications like Zoloft that she was taking to try to get herself better, and really talked about their experience trying to, navigate that. They are no longer together. He has remarried since this happened. They also say that he was the first person who walked in and saw their children. You guys, we are going to take a quick commercial break. Again, let me know what you want to hear next. We'll get into more of your news of the day. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Philadelphia Live. I'm Judea Murray. We will get back out to the courtroom at some point in this show, but I also need to get you guys up to date on your top news of the day and also get you caught up on some things that are happening around town. So again, I'm based here in Philadelphia, so there are quite a few events that I've been keeping my eye on here as the summer goes on. I hear there are going to be about 8 multicultural festivals headed our way, specifically to the waterfront. So to tell us a little bit more about what's going on here, I want to bring in Delaware River Waterfront Corporation, Michael Barone. Thank you so much for joining us here on Philadelphia Live.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So I was actually out at the waterfront just yesterday. It is such a vibe, but to hear that there will be some festivals coming up, which will make it even more livelier, that's pretty exciting. What should we be keeping our eyes out for?
Yes, we're so excited to kick off this slate of multicultural festivals with our partner Pico. It really just adds to the vibrancy of the Philadelphia waterfront. Like you mentioned, we have hundreds of free programming throughout the year, and this is one of the ones that I'm most excited about. It just really is a great opportunity to celebrate the diversity of Philadelphia with a wide range of festivals, each with a lot of really cool, exciting things to offer, like delicious food, performances, live music, really great craft and local vendor markets. So it's a lot of fun. It's kicking off in August, and it's spanning through into the fall season.
How long have you guys been doing this? This isn't your first year, right?
No, it is not. We've been doing this for many decades now, and Pico has been our partner for over 30 years now. We just celebrated the 30th anniversary with Pico, and some of our festivals have even exceeded that. The Caribbean Festival this year is celebrating its 40th consecutive season, which we are so thrilled about. It's such a great running tradition of Philadelphia.
Okay, the Caribbean Festival, I hear that one, which is exciting for me, especially if you guys are going to bring out some Jamaican food. It's my favorite. But what other ethnicities or cultures to look out for?
Yes, absolutely. We have the Festival of India
Ooh.
and Celebrate Asia and the Akana Festival all happening in August. And then we have Brazilian Day Philadelphia, Mexican Independence Day Festival, and we are the seed celebrating indigenous cultures all occurring in September. And then we round out the series with a Taste of the Philippines in October.
You know what this reminds me of? I can't help it because we just had the FIFA World Cup, but all of the different countries, all of our different visitors here in Philadelphia really jazzed things up. So it kind of feels like we're like expanding the kind of fun that we got to have with them. Is that what the goal was, or what was it about?
Yeah, no, that's a really great point. The city of Philadelphia was really came alive to epic levels with the FIFA World Cup, and it was great to see everyone representing their different cultures. And to your point, I think this is a great extension of that. It's a really great opportunity to come out and connect with other residents of Philadelphia, visitors of Philadelphia, and yeah, like you said, trying some delicious food, listening to some great music. All the events are free, so it's just a great way to come out and celebrate with your neighbor, and again, try something new or familiar to you.
Okay, now let's be clear here. You already had me when you said there was going to be food, but I hear you say food, music. What else can we expect when we come out to a festival?
Yeah, they all have something different to offer, which is why I love them so much. It's such a really wide-ranging mix of things you can experience. But yeah, you can't have these festivals without some great food from these cultures. The music is really important. We also have these really great a lot of the festivals have dance performances too, which again is a really cool opportunity to see some of them. Like the Festival of India, for example, does really great Bollywood performances, which I think is one of the highlights of that festival. Again, there's a really great markets too. So if you're looking for really authentic market from local creators and vendors, all many of these festivals will have you covered there too, with some really unique finds that will be great for gifting yourself or for friends and family.
I have a feeling it'll be a really good educational opportunity too for the families who are coming out, bringing their young kids around to ask questions, find out more about a culture maybe you either haven't heard about before or just haven't met anybody who represents that culture. So I'm
Mhm.
excited to get out there myself. And I heard, because this first festival I think takes place August 2nd, right?
Yes, yes. The
Okay.
first one kicks off with the Cannes Festival August 2nd, celebrating African culture.
Okay, that's exciting. Um, August 2nd, but before that, I hear there are some other things that people can get into, something called Latin Night.
Oh yeah, yeah. We have a August is a really fun, busy month for us on the waterfront, so you can't miss our Latin nights. There, the first one that you were mentioning, it kicks off on August 7th. It's a free event with DJ. It's really high energy, a lot of fun. It's for people who are beginners looking to learn some salsa and bachata, but also for experienced dancers as well. It's the event starts off with free lessons, so you can learn some of the moves, and then the DJ kicks it off, and it's a real big dance party the rest of the night, showing off some of the new moves you learned.
I will be bringing the moves that I come with, and hopefully, I'm leaving with some more. Michael, thank you so much for showing us what's going on. August 2nd, as you mentioned, is that first festival that's going to be African themed, but this will go on throughout October. So you guys have plenty of time to get out and have some fun. Again, Michael, thank you for joining me.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
No problem. All right, you guys, we are going to take a quick step back. I'm keeping my eye on the chat. I know what you guys want to get into, but keep letting me know if there are other stories that you want to hear about. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I've got more big news of the day for you guys. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back into Philadelphia Live. I'm hearing news of some deadly hit and run crash that happened out in Southwest Philadelphia. One of our reporters, Joanne Pileggi, she got on out there trying to give us as much information as possible. Joanne, I'm seeing the scene behind you. It still looks crazy. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Judea, there is a pall in this neighborhood. There's a kind of a feeling of extreme sadness, grief, and I hate to use the word shock because it sounds cliche, but that's what everybody here is feeling. Once they knew, once they heard what happened, that a driver, a speeding driver, came down Elmwood around 3 o'clock this morning and struck and killed a 29-year-old woman. Dark video, there is dark video, there is surveillance video. I'm not certain whether, I know we have it in our possession, it's back at the station. It is gruesome video. When you look at it, I think we will show you the video up to the impact. Now here's what happened. That woman was getting out of a ride share. We believe it was a Lyft on the other side of the street near where that news vehicle is. She got out of the car, she crossed or was attempting to cross the street around 3:15 this morning. That is when A black car, believed to be a Dodge of some sort, came flying down Elmwood at a high rate of speed and struck the woman. Her body flew up into the air, and you can see that Nissan Altima right there. Brian, if you can give us a shot of that. The woman's body, this is gruesome, it is horrid, it is horrible, flew up and landed on top of that vehicle. There's a crew here. You can see them down the street. They just took off their biohazard white suits, and they were pulling things out of that car. Yeah, you can go up to the car and see what's there. It's not a pretty sight. Police have now identified the woman. Her name is Talia Nesmith. She's from Philadelphia. We have not reached out to her family. It's not something anybody wants to do. But again, she's 29 years old. She was getting out of that ride share. There were a couple of gentlemen right here on the sidewalk. That surveillance video shows it. They react in sorry to use the cliche word, but utter shock because they witnessed this. So did the rideshare Uber or Lyft driver, whoever that rideshare driver is. You could see his flashers on when she got out of the car. So he witnessed it as well. He's apparently talking to police. So there's plenty of cameras around this neighborhood. You know, you can't walk 10 feet without looking at a surveillance camera. So the car was speeding. It was dark. Do police have an ID on the vehicle? We're not sure yet. Were they able to get a license tag? We're not sure yet. The reaction among people in the community here is, dude or female, whoever did this, turn yourself in, do the right thing. Obviously, there is a black Dodge out there somewhere with some serious front end damage. If anyone has seen this vehicle, probably parked in a garage somewhere or ditched somewhere or whatever, obviously that driver took off, sped away, and is out there somewhere. So again, anybody who has a conscience, if you know who this was, please call police anonymously. So that's the situation. Police looking for this hit and run driver who allegedly or killed someone, a pedestrian, as she was crossing the street here on Elmwood at 72nd early this morning. So that is the latest in ongoing investigation here.
Joanne, any hit and run that we hear about and that we report on is wild, it's crazy, it's horrific. But the details that you just gave us on this one in particular, I mean, even without us seeing the video, because it is pretty graphic, so we decided not to show it just yet. Our producers are still working on getting that for the broadcast later on and making sure that it's appropriate for the viewers. But even just listening to how you describe the situation, that the hazmat folks are still out there, just really paints the picture how gruesome this really was. Yeah, when you first started talking, we saw them right behind you.
Yeah, there they are. They just took off their hazmat suits. You know, they were covered with the white suits, and yeah. So people walking by here, kind of shaking their heads, and the people who work in the stores here are just saying, "Turn yourself in." Yeah. So
and
yeah, it's
I
horrible.
respect your team's decision as well, not to reach out to the family just yet, because I know we are the last people that they want to hear from at this point in time. When will we get to see you again for a new update on your report, or maybe even get to, if anybody's interested in seeing the video, will you be here with us later?
Yes, we will be here later, and obviously people can follow on fox29.com all day long. If there are any updates to the story, it will be posted there first. But again, yeah, it's it just doesn't feel good to be here. It's, you know, it's kind of, I walk close to the car and I just kind of gotta, that's what we do, you know. But you're out here and you're feeling what people are feeling here, and knowing that this happened, you know, just 20 yards away. So it's awful.
Yeah, personal, just journalist to journalist. Hope that you do something to take care of yourself during this time, whatever that may be. That's up to you. But I understand exactly what you're going through right now. So let's give her a break Joanne, we'll talk to you later. See you later on Fox 29 Philadelphia. But what a hard thing for everybody involved. The driver, the rideshare driver who had to witness this happen, this person getting out of their vehicle and out of nowhere it happens. The people who were just nearby, out and about, seeing this happen. The woman herself who lost her life, and then family members who are trying to put the pieces together and understand why someone did this and potentially drove away from the situation. And then of course the police as well, going through their investigation, and even the hazmat folks who have to, and I apologize for saying it this way, but clean up the scene. My thoughts with everybody involved in this in its entirety. You guys, we are going to take a quick break. We'll regroup, get you guys caught up on more things that are happening around the U.S. We'll be right back. Welcome back into Philadelphia Live. We all took the time we needed. We're going to get you into more news of the day. So as you can see, if you are joining us on social media, the title of whatever live stream chat you're in says LeBron James makes a decision, he signs. It is official. Philadelphia 76ers pushed it out on social media today that LeBron is officially a Sixer. So obviously, a lot of people are excited. We've heard from Basketball of Operations Mike Gansey, who again made that announcement. The team has signed four-time NBA champion and four-time NBA Most Valuable Player award-winning LeBron James to Philadelphia 76ers. You took a look at his jersey there. A lot of big things are happening for the city of brotherly love. A lot of people are excited. I mean, I'm just thinking about when we broke the news here Friday in our newsroom. Everybody was coming out of their morning show, and then all of a sudden it was like, I think it's official. I think LeBron just announced that he is coming to Philadelphia. And then we all went crazy trying to make sure we could confirm that. And sure enough, he put out his video on Instagram, on Twitter, everywhere, with Meek Mill laid over it, dreams and nightmares. It was like the most Philly thing you could ever imagine. As you can see, the 76ers post right there says, "A city fit for a king. Welcome to Philly, King James." So again, we're excited when we see the games start rolling in. That's going to be a big one. And speaking of the games, the NBA is set to announce their full schedule soon. Fingers crossed on how many national broadcast games we get, because apparently the max amount of national TV games each particular team could potentially get, the max is 34. And usually those are given to some of the top teams like the Warriors, Cavs, those kinds of teams. The Sixers last year, just to put this into perspective, I believe we only had 6 national TV games 14, excuse me, almost double that, 14 national appearances this last season. So people are expecting that with a prime-time player like LeBron James, we could get that max 34. What do you guys think? I don't know. We'll keep our eyes on the NBA to see when they do release that schedule, but that is a big one. We are all excited. I keep saying excited, but that's just the word for it. A lot of people are also trying to determine whether or not he's actually already made his way here to Philadelphia. I saw on social media somebody posted him and his wife Savannah, suggesting that he was already here. They were decked out, going for a night on the town. But then people are looking at a video that he just posted to his Instagram stories, looking at him in a car. It seems like he's on the highway, wondering if that's him leaving LA. So we don't know where that man is at. But maybe we can put out like the bat signal to get him here. I don't know. Maybe he is already here, maybe not. But with some of the fun stuff aside, let's get into some top news from across the country. These are the biggest things that are making headlines, and I want to keep you up to date. So out in Seattle, there was this huge shooting. 3 people ended up losing their lives. We're talking multiple people injured, including a toddler, and it all happened at a Seattle food festival. So this was right near Seattle Space Needle. It's like one of the biggest things that you know of in Seattle. When you think of the area, it's usually the thing that comes to mind. Around 6 p.m., they were at the Bite of Seattle when they say shots rang out. Officials are suggesting 2 people were shooting at each other. Now, one person's already in custody. The other person is still out there. Now, Seattle officials, for whatever reason, are suggesting that the public has nothing to be concerned about in terms of their safety, but that person is still out and about. Hundreds of people go to this food festival. They go for the food, the vendors, performances. So you can just imagine how thick those crowds were, especially at 6 p.m. It's like right in the mix of everything. But again, they are saying 3 people lost their lives in that shooting. 4 other people were injured, and unfortunately that includes a toddler. Now, also out in Washington, D.C. tomorrow, we're expecting to see Senator Lindsey Graham's funeral. So if that's something that you may be interested in keeping up to date on, we may be able to bring that to you live tomorrow. It'll start with an arrival ceremony at the Capitol building, again, out in D.C. And according to some details that have been shared with us, of course, they will be honoring him with a service in the U.S. Air Force. His remains will be brought inside the rotunda, and then people will be able to come in and pay their final respects. The U.S. Capitol Police Memorial Guard will also be there. This is to signify his time in the upper chamber. The actual program itself is expected to get started at 10 a.m. And I do need to let you all know this is a private ceremony, so the public is not welcome in. However, it will be live streamed. So again, if that's something that you are interested in seeing or keeping up with, that may be something we're able to provide for you. His remains will then be taken to the Washington National Cathedral for his official funeral service. That begins at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, it's only open to anybody who already received an invitation. Now, once his funeral ends, his remains will be taken back to South Carolina, which is where he's from, and there will be some additional services held the next day. President Donald Trump is also going through his fair share of different events and festivities today. So he's making his way to Michigan, as you can see there. That is when he ended up coming out of his helicopter and boarded Air Force One in order to make his way down to the Detroit area. So he's expected to talk about the economy. He'll also be talking about the new tariffs that he's put against a couple dozen countries. A lot of people are trying to figure out what this means for their business, especially ahead of the midterms. You probably want more answers to these kinds of questions at this point in time. So he'll be visiting the General Motors facility out in Milford, and he'll be talking to everybody a little bit more again about the economy, what he's expecting with the tariffs, and how people should expect them to affect or impact their business. Again, that is taking place today at the General Motors facility out in the area. Another big one that I want to get you on out to, we have been struggling with wildfires in Canada, us here in Philadelphia. That air has made its way to and from our area for a couple of days. We couldn't even really see across the street. It was like really foggy, hard to see down the road. And for anybody who had breathing issues, that may have caused some, big health implications for yourself. Those who experience not just allergies, but asthma, people who are pregnant, older folks and even our young people. A lot of people were experiencing some issues while we had some air quality issues. And it's not just us, wildfires are also making their way through Europe. So I'm learning that about 250,000 people have already been evacuated between both France and Spain due to those wildfires. They're tearing through southwest Europe. We also know at least one person has died. This is out in Valencia, Spain. So we're keeping our eye on that situation. Again, evacuations have already been put into place, and we're hearing that these are huge. We're talking about acres and acres and acres, almost bigger than some of their major cities. We'll get you more up to date on anything that you guys are interested in when we come back. We've also got a big interview coming on up. I want to get you caught up on the latest with measles and cyclospora. We'll be right back. Welcome back into Philadelphia Live. We're trying to ask the questions that you guys need answers to. And I know a big thing that everybody's worried about, especially as school is coming back up for our kids, is this measles outbreak here in the U.S. and also cyclospora, that parasite that's causing explosive diarrhea, depending on what you eat. Yeah, before we try to scare you all with anything that we could tell you, again, I just want to ask some questions to an expert and get you all some answers. I want to remind you, this is an interactive live stream chat. That means if you have a question, all you got to do is hit us up on our live stream chat, like in real time. Ask us your question. I'll be able to ask our expert. So bringing in CMO for Health Track, Dr. Steve Goldberg. Dr. Goldberg, I'm hearing that 2026 is already like the biggest outbreak for measles that we've had in quite some time. So let's just start with the measles here. What do you think could potentially be leading to this, uptick?
Sure, Julia, the answer is people aren't getting vaccinated like they should. Let's remind folks, the vaccine came out in the 1960s. Before people started getting vaccinated, there were 500,000 infections every year, 50,000 hospitalizations, 1,000 cases of brain damage, 400 deaths. And that all went away with vaccination. But what has happened over the past several years is we've had a creeping down of vaccination for measles in both children and adults. We need communities to have about 94-95% of the folks vaccinated. If that's the case, if someone comes into the area and they're not vaccinated, it won't spread. But as the numbers drop to 93, 92, it's more likely to spread. And we're seeing that in pockets all across the United States. The cure is getting people vaccinated.
So, I mean, I have a question about that. It's crazy to me that it's just one, maybe even 2 percentage points that really change the tides of what we're talking about here. But let's say you do decide to vaccinate your children. We can't force other people to. So, how do you, like, what do you do in that case? You did what you thought was the right thing, but maybe other people are doing what they think is the right thing. Is there a way to protect yourself even more?
This vaccine hesitancy that people can be afraid of getting their children vaccinated. But the measles vaccine has been around for many decades and it's very, very safe. And most of the unvaccinated children are those that are not going to public school. In most states in the United States, it's required before you go into kindergarten. And then what happens is some adults also are electing not to get vaccinated. So if you are concerned about the environment within which you live, make sure your children are vaccinated, make sure you're vaccinated. And if there's an outbreak, pull back a little bit, use a mask. And if you have any signs of illness, call your practitioner, tell them what you're experiencing. It shows up like a flu, shows up like a bad cold, but with a rash. And if you have that, seek care. That's really the best you can do.
Okay, we hear that. I have a personal question coming up for you. Again, we're asking our audience, even some of my coworkers, to try to weigh in so we understand what is most of concern for anybody out there. And it's because we're talking about 45 different states here with outbreaks. It's a big concern. Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware are among those 45 different states. With the summer coming to an end, people still trying to get out, either have fun or maybe one of my coworkers says that they're trying to teach their child how to swim and they're kind of nervous about the public pool areas. Is that something we should avoid? Can it be transmitted through water? Like, what can you talk to us about there?
It's not transmitted through water. It's transmitted through droplets in the air, if you will, being near someone who's ill. It is the most contagious infectious disease that we see in the United States. It spreads very, very quickly. So the key thing to do is get yourself vaccinated. If you're an adult with children, get them vaccinated. If you have doubts and you're an adult and you're going to be in some high risk situations, such as college campuses or your healthcare provider, if you have any doubt, just go ahead and get the measles booster. Very easy. I would not restrict any activity. You know, we're aware in Philadelphia on July 4th, someone with measles came through the Philadelphia airport. That's scary. Fortunately, there's been no public health reports of someone being ill. So overall, the best thing we can all do is live our lives, but get immunized.
Okay, so I want to shift your attention now to cyclospora because that has been another one of those illnesses that's just raking its way through our headlines and respectfully through our kitchens and our bathrooms as well. We're learning that there's this new outbreak to be concerned about. And I just want to ask you, should we really be differentiating between the original outbreak and this new one? Like, are there major differences?
It's a parasite that gets into the food supply. And what happens is the parasite's carried in human stool. And somehow that stool gets into the process of growing fruits and vegetables in the irrigation water, for example. And the fruits and vegetables are not sufficiently cleaned before they get to your table. And what's happened is we've seen a few outbreaks. Now, I know state health departments and others are working really aggressively to try to understand the sources of the outbreaks. It's usually fruits and vegetables from abroad, and it's usually things like raspberries, blackberries, cilantro, lettuce that's used for prepackaged salad, because the surfaces are a bit irregular and it's hard to get them clean. What people should do, in my view, is only consume fruits and vegetables that are grown in the United States for now. And if you have any illness at all, and that classic, frankly, explosive diarrhea, call a clinician there's easy ways to get tested for it, including the testing that our company does at urgent care pediatric family medicine and women health sites, where you go in, get a swab taken, and we can result it out the next day. We do that because if you have it, it's very responsive to antibiotics. The other key point, it can be a week delay from the time you consume the food to the time you show the symptoms.
I don't think I realized that. I knew that it could take some time, but up to a week, you might not even put the two and two together that, hey, I ate this and it led to this. But that is good to know. And that makes me think too, you know, again, we're getting ready to go back to school. There are a lot of parents who do already pack their kids' lunches, so they can kind of control the variables there. But let's say the parents who send their kid off with money for lunch, should they be concerned about the cafeterias? Should we be packing lunch? Like, what do we do there?
I think overall we have to live our life. And I know school districts, universities, and other do a really good job with food prep. We have started to identify the origin sites for some of the fruits and vegetables that have made people ill. And my hope is that we'll continue to identify the sites, to have interventions done to get the food cleaner before it gets into the food chain. But in general, what I would suggest people do is, if you're having cilantro, raspberries, blackberries, salad, and premixed salad, wash it extra well. That means not just light water, hard force running water, maybe a little bit of force against the food itself, and that'll keep you usually in good shape. And then if you do have the diarrhea, call your practitioner, get tested, because if you do have it, you want to get treated with antibiotics.
Okay, it makes sense. Again, this is what I wanted to do, so we're not scaring people. Basically, what I'm hearing you tell us is, yes, these things, measles, cyclospora, it's out there. We all know that. What do we do now? And it's sounding to me like you don't necessarily have to change everything in your lifestyle, or going out and trying to have fun, or get into the pool or whatever may have you. And then also, you don't necessarily have to stop eating school lunch, but do your due diligence. That's what I'm hearing, right?
Exactly. And if people want something to do, the something to do would be just wash your fruits and vegetables a little bit more carefully before consuming them at this time.
Okay, that makes sense. And I appreciate you for breaking this down for us. A lot of people are nervous, again, as we get back to the school year. But Dr. Goldberg, I appreciate you weighing in with your expertise on what we need to know here.
You bet. Great to be with you.
Great to be with you as well. And I think that would be great to have him back to ask more medical questions when we have them come up. There are a lot of different things that pop up, especially with our food and recalls. So that would be interesting. Let me know what you guys think in our live stream chat. That being said, we are going to take a quick step back. When we come back, let's get right back into the LeBron James talk. Coming to the Philadelphia 76ers, the city of brotherly love. What else can happen? We'll be right back. right, welcome back into Philadelphia Live. Again, we've got a lot of big things happening around town. I want to show you some of our live events as we are getting them in. So we're hearing about this San Francisco event called Project Open Hand. And Nancy Pelosi actually happens to be out there. As you can see, she's talking right now. This is a milestone event. They've delivered their 30 millionth meal to a San Francisco client living with HIV. Take a listen.
And just think of the word project, a positive and an open hand. That's what Ruth Brinker was about. She loved that name. She really loved that name. And as I said, we all were in awe of her angelic spirit, because she was doing many things. She was feeding people with HIV/AIDS, but she was showing you, the press, that you can communicate and be with people with HIV and AIDS without any fear of that. So she reduced fear, she fed people, she was an example to us, and again, any invitation to be associated with it is an honor for me. And I thank Katie Jackson. And thank all of you for being here, and all of the staff, and all the volunteers.
All right, you guys, it is pretty windy out there, but again, just to give you the gist of the event, they say they're delivering their 30 millionth meal out to a client who has HIV/AIDS. In the meantime, President Donald Trump has also just landed in Michigan, where he's supposed to be having an event soon with General Motors. I hear that he'll be talking about the economy. He'll also be talking about those tariffs that he has put against, I believe, what is it now, 30 different countries. A lot of people are concerned about how that could potentially impact their business here in the U.S. if they do business with those different countries. As you can see, he has just left his plane. He is now entering his vehicle, and he will be making his way to General Motors for that event. It's supposed to get started a lot later today. However, if there's any opportunity to bring you out to something live, we'll be doing that right here on Philadelphia Live. So keep yourself tuned for that. All right, let's go back to, I'm sorry, I could not hear you. We've got a whistleblower event happening as well. This one, I'll get more information on it for you guys, but let's just jump right in so we don't miss out on the details.
Who were not the parents of these children, and those children were released by the tens of thousands. It is clear that Becerra is unfit to be governor of California, and we are ready to make that case to California voters, but more importantly, to Latino voters here in the Golden State. Thank you, and to the next Lieutenant Governor of California, Gloria Romero.
Good morning. I am Gloria Romero. I am Steve Hilton's running mate for Lieutenant Governor. And I want to just ask for a moment, just to ask yourself, if these walls could talk. I want us to think about, although historically, legally, different political situations, but this fairplex reminds California of basically something that occurred here 80 years ago. And here we are yet again today. It was during World War II that this exact location was used as a transport place for Japanese American citizens, many children as well, as they were rounded up and then transported to, oftentimes, we didn't know where. I'm not saying that the political situations are identical, but the memories, the reasons, the questions remain as to what happened to these people and what were the impacts. Today, 80 years later, in this same facility, we have to ask ourselves, what happened to the children that Secretary Becerra allowed to be transported without verification, without sound addresses, without verification? You know, I'm a mother. Javier Becerra is a father. Steve Hilton is a father. I know that especially in the Latino community, family, our children, are the reason why we show up to vote, why we fight for a better community, why we demand accountability from our state government. And in this case, in this history, in this hall, Secretary Becerra has failed. Que vergüenza. What a shame. And I say that as somebody who understands that when you are a mother or a father, a Latino family member, that you do not just simply open the door and let a stranger with an address written with a Sharpie on your hand take your child. Where are they, Secretary Becerra? And until we find those 85,000 children that we know of, and we believe there are thousands more, we are going to ask you every single day, and as a mother, a Latina, a candidate for state government, I implore this community, starting with our mothers, do not vote for a man who has abandoned our children. In any other situation in California, that would be child abuse. That would be child abandonment. That would be an arrest, a trial, and probably a prosecution. So once again, I thank you for being here today, because this story must be told. The children are out there. We need to find them and hold the traffickers accountable. Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria. I'm so proud to have Gloria by my side in this effort that we're making to get California back on the right track in so many ways, not least this one. And now I want to get to the new information that we are publishing today, that we're releasing today. And I'm going to introduce someone again who's been an unbelievable force on this whole story, probably more than anyone else in our country. An independent investigative journalist, Anthony Rubin, who's been on this from the beginning. And he interviewed a whistleblower. I was there. I heard the whole testimony. He interviewed this whistleblower who worked here, right here, in this camp. And you will see now just some small extracts from her testimony. And Anthony, who conducted the interview, is going to introduce them and tell us a little bit about himself and the work that he's been doing, and then you will hear directly from this whistleblower. Shocking information. Anthony.
Hello, everybody. My name is Anthony Rubin. I am the founder of Muckraker.com. We are an investigative news outlet that covered, among many things, during the Biden administration, the unaccompanied alien children program that was, of course, run by Javier Becerra, which is, of course, why we are here today. Now, I could go on and on for over an hour, multiple hours, talking about what I witnessed, what I uncovered while I was reporting on this story over the course of many years. And what you are going to see today, as Steve said, is an interviewer with a whistleblower who worked right here. And you are going to hear the horrors, the sad stories, the tragedies that she witnessed firsthand, that she had to endure, and that she has to live with to this day. But I would like to start you off, before we get into some of the clips from that interview, with just a few stories from what I discovered firsthand while I was investigating this issue. 2 years ago, during the spring and summer of 2024, I was given information by a government insider about the last known addresses and the names and the ages and the birth dates of both the sponsor and the unaccompanied children. So I knew exactly where they had went, at least the last address they had been sent to. And so myself and my team, we went across the country to numerous different states, knocking on doors and asking a very simple question. Hi, how are you? We're here to look for such and such, whatever the name of the children was. And sometimes we would find the child, everything would be okay. Other times, we would knock on the door, we would say, hey, so where is this child? And we would be told, oh, I gave the child away. We would say, well, who did you give the child away to? At which point, we would normally be met with very defensive posturing, and normally they would tell us just to get lost. And unfortunately, we were not law enforcement, so there was nothing more that we could do. So what is the fate of those children? We have no idea. Furthermore, we continued knocking on doors. There were situations where there was clearly something amiss, but we could not identify it, again, because we are not the government. I will give you one example. In Louisiana, we were looking for a young girl who was around 13 or 14 years of age at the time. We knocked on the door of her sponsor, and at first we were told that she is no longer there. They don't know where she is. We continued to press. And then we were eventually told, okay, actually she is around here. We're going to go find her for you. They bring her around from the side of the house. They bring her out front, and I see this girl. And her eyes are glazed over, almost lifeless. and her voice is raspy, like she's not healthy. I don't know if it was drugs or what it was, but we're trying to talk to her, and it was very clear to me that she had been sworn to secrecy, sworn to silence, like she had been told not to talk to us. Didn't matter what I offered her, it didn't matter how many assurances I gave her, she would not speak to us. What was the situation there? Again, we don't know. We have no idea, but that is ongoing to this day. I have still to this day tried to figure out what was going on there. We can't figure it out. Again, we're not law enforcement, but now, right before we get into this interview, I will give you one more situation that we uncovered, which you are all going to be hearing about very soon, because they have agreed to come forward and speak to the Steve Hilton campaign, where after months of searching, we were able to find a brother and sister who were sent to a labor trafficking ring in Bonita Springs, Florida. And this is a case that was reported to government authorities while this program was ongoing under Javier Becerra, and nothing was done about it. At least nothing practically speaking. I don't know if they sent individuals out to locate these children. At the end of the day, they were never found. Myself and my team were the first ones to encounter them, and they told us about how they were sold into debt servitude. And they were forced to work every single day without pay. And even once they finally broke free of the situation, they were still threatened on a daily basis by their so-called sponsor in order to extract a payment from them. So I could keep going on, but those are just some of the stories that I encountered while covering this unaccompanied alien children's story under Javier Becerra. But now we're going to get into some of the clips from the whistleblower who, again, worked right here at the Beaumont Fairplex. So if you roll the first clip.
When you're trying to help and you realize that you've been fooled and you've been used to traffic children.
All right, you guys, so what we've just been listening into and getting more information on, I just want to run through is an investigation into this child migrant facility out in California. So they're suggesting that Javier Becerra had some intel, knew that this was happening, that there was some sort of mishandling of what was going on inside. And again, I also want to point out, though, that the people who are handling this particular event, we've got a candidate for governor of California, Steve Hilton, former state senator, and also a candidate for lieutenant governor, Gloria Romero. And Javier Becerra was also running. His campaign has been rocked by these horrifying claims. So that is just a taste of what's going on out there. It's a whistleblower event where they're able to tell a little bit more about what they believe was happening and give you more reason for these claims. Now, I'm also seeing there's some news coming in the sports world. We're hearing that the wife of Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy was shot and killed in their Virginia home. And according to officials, their son has been arrested and charged. So she was found in their home in Ashburn, Virginia, with multiple gunshot wounds. She has been identified as Mia Bieniemy, who again is the wife of Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric. Now, in addition to the latest information that we have here, we also have a look at his mugshot. They're saying that 57-year-old Mia was taken to the hospital for serious Okay, I'm sorry. Let me go back and reiterate some of the details that I went through. I believe earlier I said that she was shot and killed, and I want to clean that up. She is still in the hospital. They say actually that she is in stable condition. So my apologies for getting that detail wrong. What we do know here is that she was taken to the hospital with treatment for some serious injuries, and they say that their son, Elijah Zion Bieniemy, 27 years old, was arrested and charged with malicious wounding, use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, and discharge of a firearm inside a dwelling. He was taken to an adult detention center where he's being held without bond. Now, we don't have any word just yet on how Eric, the coach, is taking anything, or the coordinator, but the Chiefs have released their own statement earlier today. It says, the club is aware of the incident involving Eric Bieniemy's family. Out of respect for their privacy, we won't have a comment at this time. Our thoughts and prayers are with them. And I want to go back over the details of this just to make sure that I get everything right. And I apologize again for getting that detail wrong. They say that she was shot in their home in Virginia. The son, 27 years old, has been arrested and charged. She is still in the hospital. She's believed to be in stable condition. No insight just yet on what may have led up to this why this may have happened, what the motive potentially here was. That is just the very latest that we do have on that. That being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break, regroup, get you guys more caught up on your news of the day. We'll be right back. Welcome back into Philadelphia Live. You're taking a live look at a large crowd that's gathered in Milford, Michigan. Everybody is there to see President Donald Trump. He's visiting the General Motors facility where he's supposed to talk about the handling of the economy. He'll also be talking about the tariffs and how they may be impacting the businesses out there in Michigan as well. Keep in mind, this is right before the midterm election season heats up. So a lot of eyes are going to be on his remarks here, what he has to say that may make people feel better or let us know what the plan is moving forward. Again, this is what's going on out in Michigan. If we get a chance to show you President Donald Trump speaking live, we'll try to get you that within the hour. But if not, just keep your eyes right here on the Fox Local app or fox29.com/live, and we may be able to bring you out there instead. Now, got some big sports news. I know everybody's been talking about LeBron James. Everybody's been talking about the ending of the FIFA World Cup. A lot of people are also excited about the Flyers. We'll talk to you about them in a second, and also maybe even dive into how the Phillies are doing. But let's get you back caught up on LeBron James, who has made the announcement that he was signing with the Philadelphia 76ers, and now the organization itself, the Sixers, have announced that they are moving forward with LeBron. This is a really big deal for us here. A lot of people are thinking that this means more time for our games on national TV, but it also could mean that we're taking home a championship. Wouldn't that be amazing? But again, in addition to those big headlines, we're also keeping you up to date on what some of our other big local teams are doing, and the Flyers have got it going on. We'll be right back. Welcome back into Philadelphia Live. I'm keeping up with some of your live comments in our live stream chats, and someone said, shout out to Stacy Stoltz 6, Philadelphia has the best fans in the world for sports. And I couldn't agree more with you. I'm new to the Philadelphia area. I've been trying to dive into all the different things that fans are into, get into all the sports lore and just figure out like what makes people tick here, right? And I'm seeing that the Flyers they already had an amazing audience, but especially after this past season, more and more people are watching and just trying to figure out how they can take part. So starting this Wednesday, I hear the Flyers will actually be launching their community caravan, which is another opportunity for you guys to get out and see the boys in orange and black that you love. I want to bring in Senior Vice President of Community Relations and the Executive Director of Flyers Charities, Cindy Stutman, to join us and talk about it. Sydney, thank you so much.
Hi, thanks for having me.
No problem. Thank you for being here. Okay, so Cindy, how many years has this community caravan been running? And then can you just walk me through what exactly it is?
Yep, so this is our 10th year having the community caravan, and basically we're a mobile block party. So we will come to your town, set up, we have inflatables, we have games, and we have really fantastic Flyers giveaways. So it's a great opportunity to celebrate the team in the off season, bring your family down and have a good time.
Okay, so this Wednesday is day one. We know that. That'll be Voorhees, New Jersey. But what are some of the other dates and areas where fans can like come out and get in on the fun?
So we're down the shore next week for our annual shore tour, the 4th through the 6th. The 4th we're in Cape May. The 5th we are in, let me just double check that, Cape May. The 5th we're in Mays Landing, and then the 6th we're in Ocean City, and then we wrap up on the 19th of August in Exton, PA, and also another town soon to come. We got some nominations online, and we'll announce that town soon.
Ooh, okay. I was hoping we'd get an
So we'll
exclusive.
surprise.
but soon come, soon come. Another big question for you. Obviously, it's just fun enough to get out there and see, again, some of the players. I don't know what else you get to see when you're out there, but I'm hearing that there may be some incentives in there for the fans as well. Can you talk to me about those?
Always incentives. So if I could do a little demo. So we have some great giveaways. You know, obviously everybody loves Gritty, so we have these Gritty beach towels. I don't know how good you can see this on the screen.
Oh, they look
but
perfect.
Everyone's gonna want them. We have drink koozies with the Flyers logo. We have nylon shopping bags. We have notepads, so much more. Some of the ice team will be there. Everett, our in-arena host, will be there. Gritty will obviously be there. And then some other special appearances along the way with alumni as well.
Now, I've heard that Flyers, the association is really good at just getting fans involved. So in addition to this caravan, what are some of the other events that might be coming up or just things that we should put on the calendar?
Yeah, I'm so glad that you asked. We actually have one of our biggest events on the Flyers charity side coming up on September 26th, and it's going quickly. So you want to register now for the Gritty 5K. So it is the 5K for runners and non-runners alike. There's different activations. You stop on the way, and to my knowledge, this is the only 5K where you are handed a hot dog as you cross the finish line, which is just as zany as Gritty would want it to be.
A hot dog when you cross the finish line sounds perfect. It's the best way to celebrate, especially after you ran all that. And also the the different things that you have to do to get your body to like do that. I just me personally wouldn't be able to run a 5K. I'm done after 100 meters.
This is one you don't have to run. You can walk it, you can stroll it, you can do whatever you want to get from start to finish and do all the fun things we have set up along the way.
Oh, this looks great. I will definitely be a cheerleader on the sidelines, but I'll cheer you all on. Cindy, thank you so much for walking us through some of the biggest things. I have one last question for you because I know the charities, they're wrapped up in this as well. Where can people go to find more information on Flyers Charities?
FlyersCharities.com. We'll have all the information about the 5K. Some of the other events we'll announce shortly coming up that we do every year, like Casino Night and the Carnival, and all the other different ways you can help fundraise and help support local families impacted by cancer and grow the game of hockey to communities in our area.
Okay, sounds good. We're all excited this Wednesday. That's when we'll keep our eyes for the start date of the caravan. Again, Cindy, thank you so much for taking some time for us here on Philadelphia Live.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, you guys, I just saw at the corner of my eye, President Donald Trump is talking. He hasn't made it quite yet to the facility where he'll have his grand remarks, but take a listen to what he's telling reporters.
Models are distilling from U.S. models.
Yeah, well,
China stealing American IP.
Well, they're looking at us and we're looking at them. But we're leading now, China, substantially in AI, and we're going to keep it that way. We're leading everybody and everything. We have a country that's doing well. Thank you very much, everybody. See you in Michigan.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, so as you can see, he was speaking there on Air Force One as he was making his way down. We are expecting this event to get underway. I'm actually seeing some speakers coming up, gracing the microphone. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back out, I'll let you listen in to what some of those speakers are saying. Welcome back into Philadelphia Live. It wouldn't be Philadelphia if I did not say congratulations to Minister Zay. You may know him as Humble Zay, or maybe you know him as Isaiah Thomas. He's a 27-year-old minister from our neck of the woods, Philadelphia, who's been on this major trek to trying to make his way walking all the way to California. Now, he started way back in March, like March 26th. And he's been doing this every single day. He's on Twitch live streaming his process. He has been hit by a car, treated for that, got right back on the road, said that he wasn't going to miss out on his opportunity to spread the wealth of just peace and wellness across the states. He's also been stopped so many times by law enforcement, but still making his way. Again, today, I do believe he finally made his way to California. We actually had him on Fox 29 earlier if you were able to watch with us, or if you haven't, you'll be able to check in with him with Mike Jarek for the late night show a little later on today. But that was really big, and we're all excited. Again, just 27 years old, making a 3,000-mile cross-country faith walk is incredible. So again, just congratulations to him. All right, you guys, some other things that are going on. We've got that meeting out in Michigan where President Donald Trump will be speaking soon. We'll keep our eyes on it and be able to bring you guys out to it soon as well. But I've been talking to you all about sports and how that has been a big thing in our area, especially the last couple of days with all the LeBron James news. I want to bring things right out to one of our reporters, Chris O'Connell. I see you in the car. Tell me about your story today. What LeBron angle do you have?
Well, we talked to a coach. Of course, we've all know LeBron James. We've all seen him on the court for many years. We all know his greatness. But there was one guy, a local basketball legend, who saw LeBron James way before we all know who LeBron James was. And that was back in high school when LeBron James came here back in 2002 to play in a high school game at none other than the Palestra. His high school team came to play against Philadelphia's Strawberry Mansion in a kind of an exhibition game where it was sold out, the Palestra. Well, there was a particular coach who heard about LeBron James, and that was Greg Downer. Greg Downer's the head coach, still is for 37 years, of Lower Merion High School. He coached Kobe Bryant from 1992 to 1996. So Greg Downer knows a little thing about high school basketball and talent. He coached Kobe Bryant. Well, a few years later, Kobe Bryant's high school was going to play at the Palestra. Of course, Greg Downer not only wanted to go see him play, they were invited, that team, to go to play and practice at Lower Merion High School. So LeBron practiced at Lower Merion High School with his team the night before they played at the Palestra. They played at the Palestra, and the coach got a call from his assistant coach.
We may have lost the signal while Chris is driving. He's out and about. If we are able to get him back, we'll get back out to him. But as he was mentioning, there are so many different connections that LeBron does have to the Philadelphia area. Of course, we're all going to have our haters who say that maybe they don't understand quite why he chose to come to the Sixers. But then we have, storylines like this pop up. Actually, they tweeted about this moment. So on the left, you can see a photo from Penn Athletics. They posted this on their X account that says, "See you back at the Palestra." So again, on the left, that's LeBron James as a high school student just doing his thing. And then of course, they've also got him on the right there. So a lot of fans saw this. They got excited just to know, how our area has already had such a big impact on the career of King James. So it's kind of cool to see that Chris was able to talk to a coach who actually knew him that young and maybe even helped him with the skill set that he has now. So I'm looking forward to seeing what his report is like a little later on. If you are too, all you got to do is stay tuned with us here on the Fox Local app, or you can go to fox29.com/live. We've got news broadcasts pretty much all day long, so you will get to see Chris's report in its entirety at some point, probably around 4, maybe even 5 o'clock. So you guys, I also want to show you, remember they've got his jersey up on the social media as well. I want you to take a look at this. The 76ers did officially put out there that LeBron James is a part of the association. Everybody is very excited to welcome him on into the city of brotherly love. As you can see, it's already gotten almost 1 million views, and it's just a picture of his jersey. So he'll be wearing number 23 like always. And it's a really big moment for us. Now, one thing that I noticed when LeBron made his announcement last week, it was the 24th of July. A lot of people also were pointing out that there may be some ties to Kobe Bryant. Was it a coincidence that he decided to make his announcement on that particular day? And he also decided to choose Kobe's hometown, Philadelphia. So was it just a coincidence? Was it fate? Was it planned? I don't really know. We'll maybe have to ask LeBron James that one day. All right, with that being said, we are going to, wait.
Tweet from Friday.
Beautiful. Okay, we actually have his tweet from Friday to show you guys. Let's bring it on up here. Okay, so this was the announcement that he made in addition to that video that he put out. It says, "Another championship. I believe I can help make the Philadelphia 76ers a championship team, and I'm so excited to energize a new fan base and start this incredible journey one last time. Thank you, LA. Miami, I'll forever love, and Northeast Ohio will always be home." Now, one thing that I want to point out, usually as a journalist, I try not to put my opinion into what's going on. I try to be unbiased as possible, right? But one thing that I'm just not understanding on social media, a lot of people are wondering why he chose us, and they're suggesting that he might be chasing a ring. And I'm just sitting here like, is winning not the point? What are we actually talking about here? Is it not the point to have a championship? Is it not the point to put the best team possible that you can? So of course we've got Joel Embiid. Of course we've got Tyrese Maxey. Of course we've got VJ Edgecombe, and now Jaylen Brown. And to top it all off, LeBron James. I'm not upset at all about the starting lineup. I don't think any of our fans are. And we all welcome in any of the bandwagoners. Maybe you can even consider me one, but I live here now, so I don't think I count. But, you know, it is an incredible and interesting time to be a Sixers fan, to be here in the city of Philadelphia. I feel like it just can't get much better than this. Okay, so we've ran through a couple of different things that you need to know about as it pertains to LeBron James making his way in his debut to the 76ers. One thing I'm just looking at is whether or not I'll actually be able to go to a game, because I heard they were already sold out. We'll wait till more tickets drop, I guess. That being said, take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll get you caught up on what's happening in Michigan and maybe even some more news of the day. Welcome back into Philadelphia Live. Let's get you caught up on some big news happening in Seattle, because I'm hearing that pretty soon there will be a press conference to address this situation. Police have already arrested one person, but they're still searching for another after gunfire rang out at a pretty famous food festival. 3 people were killed in this incident. 4 people were injured, including a toddler. This all taking place in Seattle, pretty close to the Space Needle. So if you've ever been in the area, you know this is a highly populated area. There are always a lot of people, visitors coming through, but also just residents enjoying themselves. But around 6 p.m. last night at the Bite of Seattle, again, this huge annual food festival where hundreds of people are usually out in attendance, they say that 2 people were engaging in some sort of gunfight. They are shooting back and forth at each other. One person has already been arrested, but they're still looking for the second person. So pretty soon we'll be hearing from both the mayor as well as the department chief on any updates that they've gotten this. You're taking a look at the podium out there in Seattle, where hopefully we'll be getting more information, maybe even that second arrest or any identifying information on that second suspect. But just to give you a little bit more information, what we do have right now, again, a crowded food festival taking place right underneath the Seattle Space Needle. So it's already always a populated area, but in this particular night, we're talking about hundreds of people all together for what was supposed to be a fun event with family. We're hearing that 3 people were killed in this situation, 4 people injured, including someone as young as a toddler. This happened around 6 p.m. their time. This press conference should be happening at 2 p.m. our time, so in less than 10 minutes. As you can see, our cameras there are getting set up. This is our sister station offering us this live camera so you guys get the latest information. All you got to do is stay tuned with us here on the Free Fox Local app or go to fox29.com/live to get the latest information when that press conference does begin. But we're all keeping our eyes on the city of Seattle, waiting to see what the mayor and the department chief have to say about this deadly incident that unfolded out there. We're also seeing out in Michigan, we're still waiting for President Donald Trump to grace the microphone. He's supposed to be talking about the economy, and there are quite a few speakers lined up before him. So this is right before the midterm elections. A lot of people are wondering what's going to happen in terms of our businesses. As you all may know, President Donald Trump did announce some tariffs against a couple dozen countries. And so business owners, even here in our area, more specifically in Milford, Michigan, are a little nervous. So they're keeping their eyes on whatever it is that he has to say during this. As you can see, President Donald Trump has officially landed. Looks like he's greeting some of the officials out there for Michigan. He'll be making his way to the General Motors facility where he'll have this big talk. And as you can see before, the crowd has already... Okay, it sounds like he's not just landed, but he is also at the facility itself. I see Pete Hegseth in the back there. They'll be, Sean Duffy in the back there, the Department of Transportation head. He's also shaking hands as well. So we'll be keeping our eyes there, maybe even be able to give you those live remarks. Is it possible where we can show the president on the side while we listen in to the remarks that are happening inside the building? All right, beautiful. You guys take a listen.
Michigan tell them that babies are expendable, gender is fluid, parental rights are optional, and nuclear families are obsolete. When they create a state, when our young people are so indebted to their past that they're forced to rent their futures, when they teach victimhood in classrooms and build a culture where everyone is entitled to their own truth and no one's entitled to their own opinion, what's the point? Why stay in Michigan? To those young people, I offer a reply. You were created in God's image, bought at a price, and built for a purpose. You are an American. You have greatness in your DNA, and freedom is your birthright. I believe with all my heart that our young people don't want socialism. They just want the pain to stop. But the people in this room today understand something very important. We don't underestimate the appeal of socialism for those whom the status quo has failed. If the American dream is going to prevail, if we're going to defeat socialism, if we're going to save a generation, we can't just say socialism sucks and assume that people who suffered under Democrat rule in Michigan for the past 8 years will join us. We must show them something better. Together, one team, one fight. And together, we will show them a Michigan where quality education is a basic civil right and a sure pathway to hope and prosperity. We will show them a Michigan where an accident, an illness, or the cost of basic utilities doesn't leave a family in financial ruin. We will show them a Michigan that protects our communities from tyrants without leaving our children vulnerable to terrorists. We will show them a state where the son of a slave can become a sharecropper, the son of a sharecropper can become a mason, the son of a mason can become a truck driver, and the son of that truck driver could be standing before you here today in the state of Michigan, about to be Michigan's next governor. That is what's possible in our state. We will answer the socialist politics of envy and confiscation with a bold, positive, conservative agenda of policies that are working in the red states that our young people are fleeing to. We will prove that freedom and free enterprise and personal responsibility lift every one of us without sacrificing compassion for any of us. And future generations, we will defeat the lie of socialism with the truth. For the Lord says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear their prayer from heaven. I will forgive their sins and I will heal their land. That is the promise, Michigan, and we serve a promise keeper. I pledge to you that I will submit to the Lord and serve his people, because the time for healing is at hand. And by the grace of God and your hard work, freedom will not end with us. The American dream will not end with us. We're just getting started right here in Michigan. So God bless you. May God bless President Trump. May God bless Michigan. And may God bless the United States of America.
Please welcome Congressman Tom Barrett.
All right, before he comes up, as you can see, President Donald Trump, Sean Duffy, they're all getting ready. They'll be entering General Motors soon, maybe even getting a tour of the facility. I'm not quite sure exactly what's on the agenda, but that is taking place right now as we speak in Milford, Michigan. A lot of eyes will be on that talk. At the same time, I'm seeing it is official. We were questioning whether or not LeBron James was actually physically in Philadelphia, but no questions need to be asked anymore. He posted this on his Instagram account. It is a photo of him in his first practice with Maxie and some of the other guys. And it says, "The blueprint doesn't age, it gets passed on." The year 24, you can see, if we scroll through, you can see them doing shooters. LeBron in the back just looking like a proud uncle, but also shooting himself. It's clearly an exciting time to be in Philadelphia, an exciting time to be a Sixers fan, exciting time to be a LeBron fan. I've actually been talking to some of my friends who were like so anti 76ers for whatever reason, but very pro LeBron, and they're saying that they absolutely will be following him here to Philadelphia. They'll be paying attention to all the Sixers games. So those are those bandwagon fans that we've been talking about. And my question is, are we going to allow them to come in? Are we excited to see them? Are we opening our arms? This is the city of brotherly love after all, right? So, a lot of people are trying to determine, can they get a jersey? Can they get tickets to the game? And all that is still up in the air. The day LeBron made his announcement, jerseys sold out, tickets sold out. If you thought you were getting season tickets, sold out. Now we're waiting to see if anything else drops. Of course, there'll also probably be resellers and all that, so keep your eyes on that. A lot of people are not excited about the potential for ticket pricing and maybe surging for ticket pricing. But if we've got any intel on how you can get either a free ticket, a discounted ticket, or just a ticket for what you would have probably paid for it about a year ago, we'll let you know exactly where you can do that at.